Hi, my name is Ryan Fraser. I'm a student at Digital Media Art College in Boca Raton, Florida. Today I will be showing you how to create blend shapes in ZBrush for your characters. This is a fast and efficient way to create good looking blend shapes for your meshes or characters or your rigs. We'll be using Maya and ZBrush together today, so let's get started. First, let me open up the mesh. Oh, hold on. Need to import the object loading, OBJ loading plugin for Maya. If I can find it somewhere in here. There it is. Okay. Close. Do this again. Oh, I know. Import. That might be helpful. Okay, so let me show you what I'm going to be using today. There it is. So this is a face mesh that Brian Kaiser, hopefully I'm saying that right, made. He is another student at Digital Media Art College, and this is what I'm going to be using to creating the blend shapes with in ZBrush. There's a couple ways you can get it there. First, you can use the Go Z, which is always helpful. If that does not work, you can always use File, Export Selection, export it out as an OBJ object. I already have it here, so I'm not going to do it again. And then you just name it and hit Save. Alright, so with ZBrush open, you go to Import, and you can import the file. Now if you use Go Z, it's going to import it automatically. Saves a lot of time and it's very useful. So we have our object in ZBrush ready to go. We can go ahead and morph it and whatever. We don't really want to do that right now. We also do not want to make the geometry more. Like, we don't want to go into geometry and divide. We just want to leave it as is. So for at this point, one thing you want to make sure is if you are in ZBrush 4R2, they have in your Z plugins, they have this thing already called Maya Blend Shapes. That's what we're going to be using today. If you do not have Maya ZR2, you can always go to Maya Pixel Object ZBrush Download Center and download this blend shapes for ZBrush 4.0. This is what I'll be using today to create all our blend shapes. So back to ZBrush. Okay, so let's create blend shapes. To start off, we're going to go to Layers, and we're going to create a new layer. Now you can name this layer whatever you like by just hitting Name. And I'm going to create a smile here, so name it Smile. With X, you can have the same thing on both sides, activate the symmetry. You want to make sure you use the Move Topology tool, Topological tool, sorry. And let's just make a little smile. And while you're doing this, just, don't go too crazy. Make it look as realistic as possible. Unless you're doing a really cartoony character, then you can obviously be really dramatic and dynamic. The more you push the poses, the better and easier the animators will have when playing around with your rig and creating facial expressions. This probably isn't the best smile, but this is just a demonstration. So there it is. Let's say I want to use this. Cool thing about these layers is, as you notice, you already pretty much have a blend. It's very similar to Maya. You create the blend shapes and whatnot, but you're doing it much faster and more efficient. It's going to be even on both sides, and that's the great thing about it. So let's say you want to keep this. Great. Now let's say you want to make him angry, or make, in this case, her angry, but you want a controller for each side. Okay, not a problem. So first, turn off activate symmetry. Let's create a new layer, and let's name it left brow down. Alright, so let's just start pulling it down. As you notice, this in here, I don't want that to be moving. This is just demonstration, so you can mask that out so it wouldn't be moving. Yeah, she looks a little angry right there. Alright, so we got this one now. Now, how am I going to make this on the other side? First, I'll show you the wrong way to do it, and I'll show you the correct way. The wrong way is doing it like this. You go down to deformations, and people would just think to use the mirror tool. That is not the correct way, because it is actually renaming the vertices. And if you know anything about blend shapes, it all is based off the vertice number. So you do not want to do that. So the correct way to do it is, first you make sure the layer that you want to be duplicated on the other side is all the way at 1. You go down to, first you mask out that half, the half that you want to be mirrored on the other side. So in my case it's this side, so I'm masking out this side. You go to Smart Resim. Okay, you'll notice that same on both sides. Perfect. You go down to your morph target. You go and you click Store Morph Target. Okay. What that does is it stores the information only on this side. It's not going to be storing any information on this side because it's masked out. Now you want to import your face object, and you'll notice it goes back to the original face that we had. You have to go to your brushes, and you want to go to your morph. Easy way to find things in ZBrush, if you know the name, you can click M, and there it is right now, P, M, so on and so forth. Now if you go ahead and just click, it's going to give you this warning. What that means is you have to come over here, you have to turn off Z-add, Z-sub. Pretty much, to create a new layer, you have to create a new layer, and you can rename it now or later, it doesn't really matter. And then with the morph tool, just morph that area, and you can do it everywhere, but it's only going to do what the store morph target stored. In our case, it's this little this eyebrow. So with that done, you can click and drag your mask tool to unselect it, and now you have two perfect left and right brows. So let me just name this. Okay, so let's say we created 40, 50 different blend shapes. How do we put them in Maya? Well, with this, first, if you have multiple subtools open, I normally have the mouth, the teeth, the tongue, and the eyeballs in here all at the same time. So when I do my blend shapes, I make sure that there's no interpenetration or anything like that. So I would have to turn off all the visibilities of everything except for the face. So right now the face is visible. If you go back to your Z plugins, and this is where Maya Blend Shapes comes into play. If you click Export Blend Shapes, it's going to export all the blend shapes into Maya automatically for you. You can do it by visibility of the subtool. You can do it by all or selected. I normally just keep it to visibility. It's easier. So let's export the blend shapes. Just going to launch Maya, and you'll notice that if I didn't have, let me just hide one here, or I'll just move one over. That's fine. So this is the one that came from ZBrush. This is the original. Okay. So we don't need this one anymore. You just reapply your texture and you're good to go. And you'll notice, hey, look at that. There's my 3 blend shapes already in the blend shapes window. So you can create your UI and do the set German keys, and you're all ready to go. This is one project that I did using this method right here, and I will open it for you. So this is the project I did using this method, and as you can see, I have close to 65-70 different blend shapes, all different variations, what they do, so on and so forth, to create a good looking facial rig. It took me about 2 to 3 hours to do this using this method to complete the facial blend shapes that I need for my facial rig. I hope this was informational for you. If you have any further questions, feel free to ask. Again, this is Ryan from Digital Media Art College in Boca Raton, Florida, and I hope this helps. Thank you.